Guys, Sean Terry here. We are live and I'm excited to be with you here tonight. I've got a ton of information we are going to cover. So welcome. I've got a lot of information. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. And let's get right into our presentation, what we're going to talk about. First off, so I've got a ton of questions from people all across the country through all different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all over the place. And they're wondering what is going on with the real estate market right now. So if you're a real estate investor, a wholesaler, a fix and flipper, and you're wondering, what is up with the real estate market and what's going to happen in the future in 2021, first, second, third quarter? What's happening with all these defaults in COVID-19? That's what we're going to answer here. And I'm going to give you, and I'm going to talk about an idea that can make a difference in your life. And I'm going to talk about that here in a second. A business model that you can apply and adapt that is crushing right now and will literally crush in the future in 2021 and what's about to happen. So let's get in these questions. Number one, why is the real estate market on fire? We had COVID-19, right? We've had, shutdowns. We have massive layoffs. We continue to have massive layoffs across the country, massive unemployment numbers across the country. But why is the real estate market on fire? We're going to talk about some data. We're also going to talk about, will the real estate market crash in 2021? We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about what is the real estate default tsunami. What's the real estate default tsunami? What is it? Is it going to come? Is it not going to come? What's it going to make an impact? And can you position yourself in front of this tsunami and be able to profit immensely? We're also going to talk about how to make $775,457 from the 2.9 million foreclosures about to hit the market. We're going to show you exactly how in the last 45 days we were able to collect $775,000 in assignment fees doing deals nationally all across the country with this business model. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to talk about the top 2 marketing strategies we're working with right now that's bringing us floods of highly qualified, motivated sellers for cheap. And we're also going to talk about the understanding what day trading properties is. Now, you've heard the big craze of day trading, right? So you're actually day trading. You have apps like Robinhood, E-Trade, where people are getting on and they're buying stocks and selling and day trading with the market going crazy. What if you could do that with houses? What if you could do that with houses with like little to no risk, right? Where you come in, it's amazing. So we're going to talk about the concept of day trading houses. Not many people talk about this, but this is it's actually more swing trading, I guess you could say, houses than day trading. So we're going to talk about that concept, what it looks like and what we do and how we're doing deals nationally all across the entire country. Now, people want proof, right? I was a proof type of person. Show me proof of exactly what you're doing. So I just took a screenshot of some wires coming into my business account here, and you can see on there the dates on the left, right? I blocked out all the wire transfer numbers, but here's proof, right? 148,211, 25,000, 120,100, 23,425, 14,000, 25,000, 4,500, 27,000, 17,000, 100,000, 6,747, 39,000, 60,000, 11,000, 159. These are just wires coming in the last 45 days from doing these day trading all across the country. So the bottom line is, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing and how you can apply this information as well. So if you haven't heard of me before, my name's Sean Terry. I have been investing in real estate, or actually wholesaling houses now, for the last 17 years. I'm married. Actually now for 24 years, I got to update that slide, 24 years, happily married for the last 24 years, 2 beautiful daughters. Have done over $300 million in deals. You do anywhere from 15 to 25 deals a month. I started a podcast back in 2010, and it's literally blew up to over 12 million listeners, 196 different countries around the world. Creator of the Flip to Freedom Academy, 9 best-selling courses, 20,000 members, best-selling author, and also own real estate, over 760 student housing units across the country, and live in Phoenix and Dana Point. So here's my quick story. I'm gonna make it real quick because we've got a lot of information we want to cover. Real estate. I found myself at 33 years old. I got out of the Marine Corps, spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, and I got out, and then I went, down the normal path, right? Got a job, worked for somebody, didn't really like what I was doing, and I got myself at 33, and I was living month to month, and I was frustrated, and I wanted to be further, right? Back when I was younger, in 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, I had this dream of becoming successful, and I'd watch these shows on TV when I was a kid, when they had the nice cars and the nice houses, and they travel and do all these amazing things. Now, I'm originally from Vermont. My dad made no more than $49,000 a year as a police officer back in Vermont, and I grew up in a tiny little house, and I lived down in the basement, and my friends in Vermont would go on vacation, and they go to Bermuda, and they come back and bring me a little thing of pink sand, of Bermuda sand. I couldn't go to Bermuda because my family couldn't afford to go to Bermuda. My other friends would go to Florida, and they come back all tan, and I'd go to my grandmother's house in Windsor, Vermont, and my brother would get the top bunk, and I'd get the bottom bunk, and that would be our vacation to go to grandma's house. So, I wanted all these things. I wanted to have success, but I went in the Marine Corps. I didn't have a college education, so I thought it was a step behind everybody else. And I started working as a bartender in different jobs. And then what happens, I found myself at 33, had a brand new daughter. I was married at the time, and I didn't really achieve much. I didn't have a lot, didn't have any success. I was living month to month, and every financial, thing like new tires was a tragedy. You know what I mean? It's like, anything was like a big event when, if it didn't have enough money, it was like, oh my gosh, it'd be a stressful situation. And I got sick of that. And I was just like, when's it gonna end? I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And, I got an email earlier from a gentleman, and that I sent the email out, and that's maybe why you guys are here. And he goes, why would you share this information? Why wouldn't you just keep it to yourself, not share it with anybody, and then just ramp it up instead of doing 775,000 in 45 days? Why don't you do 7 million in 45 days? And I get it. I understand that thinking, but that's not me. I believe in an abundance mentality where there's more than enough. And my 2 passions in life is real estate. I love real estate. Love doing deals, love understanding, love, building companies, and, when it comes in real estate and buying properties, and especially when it comes to multifamily properties and stuff. I love the whole real estate because everything is different. Real estate you can't put one property in a box because you have a different seller, different property, different location, different area. Everything's different. It's always changing, which is so exciting about real estate. My second passion is education and teaching. And here's the reason why. Because when I was 33 years old, I was working a job where I was selling pools and landscaping. So I go to someone's house, And I go in their backyard and I measure the whole backyard and I draw a pool and I put some landscaping and some shrubs and stuff, and I would sell pools and landscaping. I'd be, on weekends and, Sunday and Saturday and, weekdays and at nights I'd be meeting people, and that's what I do. And guess what? You didn't really have, have a college education for it, and I was hustling and then meeting people all the time and still living month to month at 33. Well, on a Saturday afternoon, I was going to an appointment. It was way out in Estrella Park, I remember it. I was driving down the 101 freeway here in Phoenix, if you've ever been to Phoenix here. It was about a 30-minute drive, and I was flipping through the radio stations. It was 1510 KFNN. It was a financial news radio. They talked about stock and investing and this and about that. And this guy came on the radio and he started talking about how you could make money flipping houses. Now, and he talked about where this concept of flipping houses, short-term flipping houses, and it's called wholesaling houses. And his concept is you knock on a pre-foreclosure door and you talk to someone and you can get a property under contract, and then you can sell or assign that contract. Now, I remember he was explaining this concept, and I was confused at the time. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I'd never heard of that. My understanding of real estate is that you had to have cash to buy a house, to then cash to fix it up, and then cash to hold on to it and then sell it for a profit. So you buy it, fix it, sell it, just like you see on HGTV. You buy this ugly house and you make it look pretty and you sell it for a profit. That's what I thought you had to do. Or you could buy a house and you fix it up, you put a tenant, and you wait for a long time for appreciation. Well, both those things take great credit, which at the time I didn't have. I had terrible credit. And it takes cash, or you have to know people with cash that trust you to give you money that you can do these projects. I didn't have either. And I didn't have the experience, I didn't have the knowledge. So I remember listening to this guy on the radio and I was like, you can't do that. You can't sell a house you don't own. You can't get involved in real estate without having to put up money or cash. So immediately I thought it was a scam. Right? Like you might be watching this right now. Maybe you came here from a YouTube video that you saw maybe me on YouTube, or maybe one, came and you got a list or an email or something and you came here, or maybe it's Instagram, whatever, or you're on Facebook watching this right now, whatever it might be. And you might thinking that, maybe you're thinking maybe this isn't true. It's not true. I was the same way. I was skeptical. I was like, it can't be done. How can you make money in real estate with no money? Or no credit? How does that work? This can't be true. So you know what I did? I turned the channel. I was driving down the freeway. I was going to my appointment, my pool and landscape. I was broke. And I thought I knew what I knew. And I turned the channel and I stopped listening to this guy talking about this concept because I thought I knew what I knew. How dumb was I? See, and now I've learned, after being immensely successful and being around immensely successful people, is your mind is like a parachute. If it's not open, it doesn't work. So what did I do? I'm driving down the freeway and I'm like looking for something to listen to on the radio in May. This was May of 2003, mind you. I'm driving down the street and there's nothing to listen to, no sports, nothing. And finally, I had a gut feeling, and today I know it was God's intervention. He was tapping me on the shoulder and said, listen, idiot, turn the channel back and listen what this guy has to say. I was like, okay, so I turned it back. And here's what even took me over the edge. He actually had people on that were sharing their story of how they, got a property under contract and then sold that contract and made $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 flipping these houses using no cash or no credit, never getting their credit pulled, never having to cut a check for a down payment, never having to buy the house. And that even put it more, I was more skeptical. I was like, how is that possible? And then he explained the concept. And the concept I have taken, to another level, right? And I've merged the process of his concept in day trading properties where you can do these deals nationally so you're not pigeonholed into one specific market. So what I'm going to share with you, and the other thing I want to tell you is this guy sent an email and he said, hey, why would you share this information? Because I can tell you right now, and I can look at you dead in the camera, right in the eye, and I can say that person on the radio, I bought his course. I didn't have the money. I actually had a first Premier card. It was like one of those starter cards. At 33, I had a first Premier card. It was $250 credit line on it. My wife had a first Premier card, right? $250 credit line. And I called the guy up and I said, hey, it's a $500 course. And I said, can you take 2 different credit cards? And he goes, sure. And he sent me the course and I bought his course. And the course, it was 2003. It was actually recorded in 1996. This information, it was antiquated, but it worked, and I used it. And that piece of that idea, that concept, that bit of information, that knowledge changed the direction of my life. Completely changed it. Where now, 17 years later, I look back, my kids have been able to grow up. We have I just sold our house in Dana Point, California. We had a multi-million-dollar beach house that they have grown up going to. I bought it in 2000, late 2004, early 2005, bought a beach house there. My kids grew up at the beach house, out there. I mean, grew up in a life that is just amazing. We traveled all over the world and stayed in the best hotels, the Plaza Hotel and resorts, and went to, amazing places. Turks and Caicos, and stayed at like the most amazing resort, beaches resort, at the best rooms that you could possibly even get there. So, and it's not because I'm great at all. I want to say that. It's not because I'm smart, not because of a college education. It's because this guy shared a concept with me, and I applied the information and went out and it's amazing. So to give this guy's answer, why I'm sharing this with you, this information with you, is not that I have to or whatever, because our real estate business is the majority of my income comes from real estate, is because I love to. And I love to make impacts in people's lives. I have, through the podcast and through the training and education, there's nothing like having someone come up and go, hey man, you changed my life. Thank you so much. Because now it can impact their life in a positive way. And believe me, we need positivity in this world right now. Positive way, and impact his kids, in his life, in his family. I mean, the information that I've shared has changed people's lives completely. And that's why I do it. That's why I'm sharing it. And that's why I'm not going to hold anything back. That's why I'm going to tell you exactly what we're doing, exactly what's working. I'm actually going to show you deals with addresses, with property addresses, with pictures that you can see that we have done. You can go look them up if you want. Because I want to be that transparent with you, because nobody is. Most people on the internet and the gurus are teaching stuff, it's all antiquated information that used to work. This is stuff that works now. Deals we're closing now. You saw the proof, and you'll see more. So let's get into it. Plus, I'm also going to give you a free gift. So I want you to stay on to the end. It's my 2 most coveted, sought after contracts that allow you to transact and do deals all across the country. So stay on to the end, don't go anywhere, and I'll show you what those are, and I'll give you those at the end. All right, so let's get into it. Why is the market on fire? Let's get on to it. Why is the market on fire right now? Couple different things. One, inventory drives pricing and demand perception in real estate. Inventory drives it. So what happened was COVID-19, People pulled all their houses off the market in droves. They didn't want people in their house. They were afraid of COVID-19. They didn't want showings and people walking in their house. Home builders stopped building because they couldn't get people to work. They couldn't get people to the houses to actually, build the properties. So everybody pretty much shut down. You remember that March, it was like March 15th, March 17th, like the world shut down. And it was crazy for 3 and 4 and 5 months. It was nuts. So home builders stopped building. People pulled their properties off the market. And what did the Fed do? The Fed came out, and because we're in crisis situation, to try to do something with the market, the only thing they can do was lower interest rates, and they lowered interest rates to historic low levels. So what happened? Inventory plummeted. Think about it. So you have all this inventory in the market. You have home builders that are bringing new houses online. You have all these homes that are on the market. Now all this inventory comes off the market. Inventory plummets. Well, in real estate, inventory drives everything. Inventory drives everything. The more inventory you have, the lower the prices go. The less inventory, the higher the prices go, until you hit an inflection point, and it's called affordability. So what happens is now you have inventory that plummeted, the country's locked down, and you have historic low interest rates. Now check this out. And now, if you see the high point right there, you see that in 2008, 2009, inventory, month supply of inventory was up to 12 and a half months of supply. And that's why you saw foreclosures, you saw massive amounts of price drops. Give an example here in Phoenix. There's certain subdivision here in Phoenix where it's actually a subdivision called Maryvale in Phoenix. If you're in Phoenix, you know what I'm talking about. But Maryvale, houses were $200,000, $250,000. It plummeted down to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Hedge funds came in and bought them up in droves in those markets. Prices plummeted 30, 40, 50% in certain areas because of inventory spiked up 12, 13 months supply of that inventory. There's more inventory, less buyers. What happens is now it becomes a buyer's market and prices plummet. Now let's look back to the chart right here and we'll see that we are here at the bottom down in 2020. We are right now at historic low inventory. Inventory plummeted, which now is making prices go up like crazy. Let me give you an example. My wife's a realtor. She listed a property on Labor Day, and she listed it on Friday over Labor Day weekend. She got 48 showings by Sunday and 8 full price offers by Monday, and 3 of them were significantly over asking price. That's what we're seeing in the marketplace right now. So if you have a property, now is the time to sell. Thus, why I sold my California house, and California's crazy anyways. They're doing a bunch of stuff with the property taxes out there. That place is nuts. So I sold my California house. I'm like, I'm done with that. Building and buying another house. So the bottom line is we are at historic low inventory rates right now, and it is starting to tick back up. But let's see what's going to happen. So that's why we're on fire right now. You can see this right here. Existing home sales, you see in May it dropped, right? It was down like 4 million because the country was locked down, right? People didn't really know what was going on. And then you saw that from May up to now, it is dramatically, it's almost been like a vertical rise. And if you know anybody in real estate or realtors or people involved in real estate, or you might be trying to find a house or buy a house or look at a house or whatever, or maybe you're real estate investing, you're fixing and flipping properties and you're wondering, hey, it's hard to get deals, and you get a deal now trying to get it and flip it. It's crazy because the market's on fire right now because of the low inventory, the historic low interest rates. But things are going to change, but not maybe like you think it's going to be. So here's the next question. Will real estate market crash in 2021? And what is the real estate default tsunami? So I've been talking about the real estate default tsunami. What is it? How's it going to impact the market? So we're going to get into that. Let's look at some of the unemployment rate we can see right now. Millions of people are still losing their jobs. You can see in March, you have March 6 million, 5 million, and it's progressively going down, but we're still seeing on a weekly basis millions of people losing their job, but we also see millions of people that are getting back in. Getting back in, and they're becoming employed. Now, those numbers, depending on what numbers they report, either they have a U1 through U7 numbers. The U3 is typically what the government reports. You can Google the U3 unemployment numbers, the U6 unemployment numbers. There's a big gap in difference on what they're actually reporting versus reality in the numbers. So here's what we're seeing right now. About 21 million people unemployed, 70% expected to go back to work, 4.9 million people furloughed from work. So they've have a job, they've been furloughed, so they really haven't been laid off yet. Now, interestingly enough, my wife's sister has worked for Disney for the past 20 years. So she was furloughed in March, and she worked at Disneyland. She did the entertainment side of Disney, was furloughed in March, right? And in October, that was her 20-year mark in October, she got noticed because Gavin Newsom out there in California basically gave no reopening criteria for Disneyland to open or parks to open. So Disney came out and said, hey, we're laying off 28,000 people from Disneyland and Disney World, and her department all got completely laid off. So after 20 years of work, you know what they said? Okay, we're gonna give you 2 months of severance, and that's it, done. 20 years. She dedicated 20, like she was working crazy hours. She was working, all night shifts. She gave up having a family, because of the crazy hours they'd worked for. And then with all of a sudden, boom, COVID happens, right? Hit a obviously a major bump in the road, but bam, gone, just like that, so just amazing. So 6.6 million people dropped out of the workforce. So if you look at, and you go Google the number of the unemployment numbers, the U1 through U7, and you look at the U3 numbers is what they report on the news. That's the U3 unemployment number. It excludes people that get disgruntled and stop looking for work, or maybe they've dropped out of the workforce. It's kind of excluding those numbers. But if you look at the U6 numbers, it includes all those people, the people that was looking for a job, they got disgruntled, then they got off. People are essentially maybe furloughed that might get laid off, or people that are part-time. So if you look at it, all the numbers, it's about 12.7% unemployment right now, the real numbers, which is going to leave us, when all the dust settles, and this is rough numbers, at about 17 to 20 million unemployed people, which is devastating, right? It's absolutely devastating. So what's the impact of having that much unemployment hitting the marketplace? Well, you have 30% of Americans that miss their housing payments in June. 30% of Americans miss their housing payment, whether it be a mortgage payment or rental payments. Almost a third of renters miss their payments. That means you might be a landlord right now, and you might have rentals that you own, and guess what? Those payments aren't being made. Some are, some aren't. They're saying a third has been. Mortgage delinquencies caused by the coronavirus will exceed Great Recession levels according to this forecast. So what does that mean? 2008, they're looking where mortgage delinquencies will exceed 2008. If you remember 2008, 2009, it was a bloodbath when it came to foreclosures on, you saw entire neighborhoods wiped out because of foreclosures it's hitting. Now, I don't think it's going to be that bad, because here's the good thing is we have an equity spike. We have this growth in equity. So I don't think we're not going to get hammered like it was in 2008, 2009, but we're going to see a massive amount of distressed properties hitting the market, which is going to create a more equalized market. Now, remember, if I showed you those, if we look back, and I'll show you here in a second, some of our those low inventory numbers, those inventory numbers are now going to get back to normalized. So what else we're seeing right here? We're seeing homeowners stop paying mortgage in record numbers. Serious mortgages defaults will increase fourfold by mid-2021. That was CoreLogic, serious mortgage defaults. So what's going to happen? 2021. Well, and I've been doing this for 17 years. I've been part of a market crash. I consult with, talk to many highly successful real estate people that own tens of, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate. The consensus is from pretty much everybody is that we are going to have an influx, right? A couple things are going to happen, and there's an asterisk I want to put by this, because we have all these evictions that are all in this, behind this damn wall of this flood. This is like this default tsunami. So what happens with a default, with a tsunami, right? You have an earthquake in the ocean, and then there's a calm before the storm, and then you see this swell, and bam, it just hits the shore. Well, the earthquake was COVID-19. Right? In this swell, it's right now calm before the storm, and the swell is brewing, and it's in the form of these eviction moratoriums and these forbearances, all these tens of millions of people that haven't paid their mortgage or have fallen behind on rent. There are startup companies right now in Silicon Valley that are positioning themselves to evict people in a new technology to make it a seamless process for evictions. There's startups right now in Silicon Valley that are starting. It's terrible, right? So what's going to happen? I'll get to the asterisk here in a second. What's going to happen is they're going to lift this moratorium. The tsunami has built, and the defaults crash will essentially hit hit land. Is that you'll have a significant amount of foreclosures and evictions, meaning you're going to have a significant amount of inventory that's going to hit the market. Now, go back to the slide right here. If you look, the good thing is our inventory numbers are excessively low, right? Excessively low. So what I believe is that we're going to get to a more stabilized market instead of what we're seeing back in 2008 and 9, where there's 12 to 13 months supply and the market completely crashes. I think we're going to get back to maybe 2018, 2019 levels, where we have maybe 5 to 6 months of supply of inventory, which in that case will be a normalized market. So think about that, right? If you look at it right now, right? You might be worried of what's going to happen. I'll get to the asterisk here in a second. Is that the bottom line is we're going to get these floods of these houses coming in. We'll have an increase in inventory, but I don't think we're going to go from a 2-month supply to a 13-month supply overnight. It's not going to happen. If we did, then we're going to see a plummet in housing prices. What we're going to do is we're going to get to a normalized market. We might see a leveling off of pricing, right, which is going to be good for the affordability index for people. We might even see a decline of, say, 5 to 6% of what we're seeing. So September was the first month where we saw a surprise drop in home sales as buyers were priced out. This is where we're seeing where prices are becoming too high for people and the affordability index becomes too high, then they essentially can't afford, and that home sales will stop and they'll level off. And that's like the first sign there's something happening. So this came out from Case Shiller, CoreLogic, owner of Case Shiller, came out that they're expecting a price drop of about 6.6%, which is not bad. That's actually good for the real estate market. So I don't think there's going to be a massive, huge declining market. But what we're going to see, and for us, is a massive opportunity where there's going to be distressed sellers flooding the market. Now here's the asterisk. The asterisk is this, and I don't really know exactly how it's going to play out, but what if the Fed does a relief for the people in eviction? Not the Fed or the government, right? The government comes out. What happens if they come out and they go, hey, we do another relief package for evictions, and we do something there, or do another relief for people that haven't paid their mortgage, do something there. I don't know exactly how that will play out, but that is the asterisk. Or they might just kick it down the road for another 6 months or so, which will prolong the problem. Eventually, it's going to come to a head. But I can tell you right now, in my business, in our business that we're doing right now, we are seeing an influx of sellers, and a lot of them are absentee owners or owners of properties that own rental properties where they're stuck in a property, they're not getting paid, and they have a tenant that's in there that's saying, I'm not paying and you can't get me out, right? And now they're stuck and they don't want to do, and they're willing to dump their properties. We've got a lot of properties right now we're dealing with across the country. So let's talk about the best business model during the real estate default tsunami. What can we do? Now, I want to relate it to basically trading either options or stocks or whatever it might be. Now, if you can see the green arrow, and then you see the red arrow, then you see the green arrow, then you see the red arrow. The goal with buying and selling stocks, or day trading stocks, or day trading is when you're buying and selling in the same day. Swing trading is when you buy and sell with a longer period. It might be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it might be. So I can say we're essentially swing trading properties. We get a property under contract, we sell it a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. But the goal is to be able to buy a stock at a low price, have the price go up, and sell it at a higher price. Here's the problem with the stock market, right? I don't know what Apple traded at today. I think it was probably, I know they just did a split, but it's like $118. Apple traded at today. You can't buy Apple for 50 cents on the dollar, right? You can't buy Apple for half the price. You can't do it. That would be inside information, right? You couldn't even do it. There's no way you could do it unless you heard that they were going to get, killed in their earnings and the stock price plummeted and you're able to do, you can't do it. You can't buy a $118 stock at half the price. But real estate, you can. Real estate, you can. Now think about this. What if there was no liquidity in the real estate market, in the stock market? What if you owned shares of Apple, $118, but it took you 30, 60, 90, 120 days to sell it, and you had to go find a buyer, right? You just couldn't, execute a trade and it happened instantaneously. You couldn't do it. It took you time. So now you have a seller, and the guy could go to the open market and say, I'm going to sell my Apple shares, $118 shares, but I'm going to sell them for $75. And if I need to get it done, I need to get it done ASAP. Imagine if that could happen, right? It can't happen. It doesn't happen because there's instant execution when it comes to stocks. But in real estate, it is. It's less of a liquid, and there's not this instant execution. What we do is we provide that, not instant, we provide that execution for them as real estate wholesalers. Now, I'm going to explain exactly how we do it, and I'm going to show you how we do it with these two contracts. Then I'm going to give you these two contracts at the end. So let's get into how we do it. First off, what we do is, same with the stock, you have to control the stock before you can sell the stock. So what we do is we have a contract. This contract is incredibly important. Now, on this contract, we have the property address, right? We have all the information about the property, and we have a purchase price, right? So let's say theoretically the house is worth $118,000. And let's say we contracted that house and we put a price on there, purchase price on there, for $70,000, right? Now we get a $118,000 house under contract for $70,000. Now, who in their right mind would sell a house at $118,000 for $70,000? Well, someone that has a tenant that's not paying. Someone that has a tenant that trashed the place and wants to move out. Someone that inherited the property and just doesn't want to fix it up and just wants to sell it. Someone that needs cash now and they don't want to fix it up and wait all this time. There's various different reasons that people, maybe they lost their job, right? Unemployment. And now they have a house that they inherited or a rental property that's sitting there and they want to turn that house into cash so they can have money that they can live. That's what we're seeing right now. I'm going to show you our leads that we got coming. We have hundreds, thousands of leads coming in a month that we have coming in. And people are just in droves saying, hey, I want to get rid of my house. I want to sell my house. These are leads that come in 24/7, online, offline. It's amazing. But what we do is sign a contract for a price. This contract's important because it gives us controlling interest. A seller only can sell a house to one person. So now with this contract, it has a purchase price and it has a closing date. And it also has a clause. We have in this clause a 30-day inspection period. Gives us 30 days to inspect the property, inspect the investment to see if it's viable or not. And then within the 30 days, if we cancel, we can get out of the contract. No harm, no foul, right? So now we got a purchase price and we have a closing date. Closing date's now 45 days from now, on or before. We could go sooner. And then we have an inspection period for 30 days, right? Contract. This is important. It gives us equitable interest in the property, equitable interest, which is critically important. Now we have interest in this particular property. We can sell that interest in the property because we're the only ones now that control it, okay? Now what happens, if we look at here, we can do this. Now I'm going to show you, first off, this is the second contract. This, and I'm going to show you how to use this second contract right here. This is what's called the assignment contract. This is where you sell this contract. This is an assignment where you assign or sell the secondary contract, and you can do that with this contract right here. That I drafted up with my national title company that we work with to do assignments. All those wires that you saw coming into my account right there, all those were assignment fees using these two contracts. Now, what's the beauty about swing trading, day trading properties, is you can do this anywhere in the world, right? Anywhere in the world. We've got people from Australia that are day trading properties, swing trading properties here in America. We've got people overseas, in Israel, right, that are flipping properties here. We got people in Canada that are doing deals here. And here's a couple things. You don't need a real estate license to do this, right? You're acting on your own behalf. You're a real estate investor acting on your own behalf. And it can be done anywhere in the United States. The only place we do not do business is Illinois, because Illinois requires that you have a real estate license. So we don't do it any deals in Illinois. We actually refer all of our leads to a real estate agent there in that particular market. So what is the key? The key is distressed properties. In a normalized market, 95% of the people will sell their property with a realtor. If they want to sell their property, they're going to call it, they're going to go on Facebook and they're going to say, hey, does anybody know a good realtor? Oh my gosh, here's a referral. You're going to call a realtor. They're going to come over to your house, right? They're going to tell you everything you need to do. You got to paint, you got to declutter, you got to put the stuff in storage, you got to fix the front door, you got to fix your landscaping up, you got to fix all the little detailed things. You got to make it look nice, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to take a bunch of pretty pictures, they're going to put a sign in the front yard, and they're going to open the door and they're going to do showings, and they're going to have people come through the property to look at your house. That means they're going to call you on a moment's notice and say, hey, I've got someone that wants to see the house. When can we see it? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You got to jump out of the house. You're going to run down to Starbucks. You got to leave, and they're going to come through the house and they're going to look at it. That's a traditional. Now, what's going to happen in part of that traditional, you're going to pay real estate commissions, closing costs, fees. You're going to have to fix up the property. The average time nationally is about 90 to 120 days for this process to happen, right? And because it's a hot market, we're seeing people getting offers at asking price or over, but in a normalized market, you get about 95% of the list price, right? This is the normalized market. Now, distressed properties, right? Distressed properties, it's about 5%. These are people that you have a fire damaged property, a landlord where a tenant trashed the property, an inherited property. You know, you drive down certain streets and that nasty house on the street that's all boarded up, that's a distressed property. Code violation distressed property, probate distressed property. There's all sorts of distressed property, and there's millions of them across the United States. Now, that's a normalized market, and there is millions and millions of dollars to be made in a normalized market. But what's going to happen in the coming 2021, the default tsunami? We're going to see a shift where we're going to see less people selling with a realtor, and we're going to see more distressed properties hit the market, right? We're going to see where, we're going to see with situations where, sellers want to get rid of properties, foreclosure situations. Now, what's great about our business is if someone's in foreclosure because they haven't paid their mortgage, a bank is going to come and they're going to give them anywhere from 60 to 90 days to pay up, or they're going to foreclose on their property, and they're going to send a sheriff over to their house, and they're going to drag them out of the house. Literally give them 30 minutes. I've seen it personally. It's a terrible thing. Give them 30 minutes to get out of that house, pack their personal belongings, and get out. That's what they do. It's terrible. And they're going to lose their credit because they're going to get 7 years of foreclosure on their credit, and they're going to lose the majority of their equity. So what's going to happen is their lives are going to be destroyed because these banks are going to be taking back these houses. But you know what you can do? You can help them not only save their credit, but save their equity. You can get there before the banks. You can reach out to them, whether it be direct mail or they can reach online, and you can help them and give them an offer, right, on a property where they can get the property under contract. You can help them find a buyer for it. They don't have to fix up the property. It can be done as is. It can be done quickly. And guess what? They can reserve or preserve majority of their equity. You can make a small profit in between, and they can turn around and save their credit so they don't have 7 years of a foreclosure on their credit. So it's a good thing all the way around. Now, an investor buyer is going to come in, fix it, sell it, and do everything they're going to do. So the bottom line is we're going to see a massive influx of these distressed properties in there. And the good thing is we can help people out of that situation. Now, you get a property under contract, right? And let's call it for, it's a $100,000 house. You get it under contract for $60,000. And you turn around and assign it for $70,000, a $10,000 assignment, guess what? You get a check for $10,000. You get a check or a wire for $10,000 for doing it. Now, I'm going to show you some people, and I'm going to actually get into the 8-step process and exactly how you can do this. But let me just show you some example deals that we have recently closed. I'm going to give you the address. You can go search them if you want. You can see it recently closed. You can see the price point that closed at. But we got it under contract. So this one's right here in Amherst Lane, Deer Park, Texas. Now, I've never been to Deer Park. I've never seen this house. All these deals we have done, we never go visit, never look at. The seller sends us pictures. So they're sight unseen. It's all done 100% over the phone, where now a seller reaches out to us and asks, hey, I want to sell my house. We go, hey, what would you like to get for it? What's your asking price for the property? What's your asking price? And the seller goes, well, I'd like to get $110,000 for it. Well, how about if we give you $108,000? That's what happened in this scenario. $108,000, okay? So we got the property under contract for $108,000. We were able to find a buyer for the property, right, in a matter of less than 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the property, for $147,000. And guess what? We got a wire for $39,000 for this one deal. Now, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Sorry, it's my daughter. Let me ask you a question. What if you got a deal for $39,000? Just one deal this year, right? You think it would make a difference? One deal, $39,000. You think it would make a difference? Absolutely, it would make a difference. The bottom line is $39,000. There are people right now that's watching this that don't even make that in a year. Some people watching this right now made $39,000, and maybe now they got laid off, and they're looking, what can I do to supplement my income? This is perfect because it can be done from your home. You don't have to go look at the property. You don't have to go fly to Deer Park. We're in Phoenix. We got the property under contract. We got the pictures. We found the buyer. Everything was done completely 100% virtual and remote. Remote. You can make millions of dollars working remote. And this is just one deal. Now check out this one. This one is 12208 Atkins Ave, Kansas City, Missouri. This is one of the fastest deals that we've done. I think the turnaround on this was like 10 days. So we swing traded this property, got the property under contract, found a buyer, and within 10 days, got the property contract for $71,200, sold it for $107,000, right? $35,800 profit on this particular deal. Amazing, right? That amazing. Here's another one, 3359 Barrett Road, Akron, Ohio. Contract for $80,950, sold for $97,000, $16,050. These are deals. And here's the thing, you can do this part-time. Now, if you wanted to do this part-time, you could do this part-time. Completely part-time, working around your job, around what you do. If you wanted to do it, talk to some sellers during lunch and then after dinner. It's exciting. It's like thrilling. I mean, it's like once you get momentum and you start, that's why I tell people, let's get momentum. Let's start talking. Let's making some offers. Once you start making some offers and start getting up and going with these sellers, the momentum starts going. It's so exciting. Watching deals getting done and things happening. It's amazing what can happen, and it happens fast, and I mean, what if you just got a couple of these deals a year? What would it do for you? So let me talk about a couple of my top marketing strategies. 2 best ways to find distressed houses. We got what's called PPC, or pay-per-click advertising. It's a little bit more advanced, and strategic direct mail. So let me go in here real quick, and I want to show you what PPC advertising is. So if you go to Google, you go to Bing, or any one of these search engine, right? And if you type in "sell my house fast." Now you see what comes up. You got sell my house fast for cash, right? This is a very high converting keyword, sell my house fast, right? So if I click on that, sell my house fast, you'll see these are ads that come up, right? Sell your house, here's an ad, and here it says it's ad, ad, ad. These are all ads, right? So if I look at right here, and I'm gonna look at if I look at some of these ads right here. So let's click on this one, right? Cash for houses. What happens, and I don't know any of these guys, but you land on this page. These guys are in Phoenix here. And what happens is you type in your name, right? Enter property address, contact name, email, phone number, submit cash offer, or you can call them right there. And this is the website. So this generates a lead, and it happens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, it costs to be on here, to advertise on here, but you can get leads for fairly cheap. Now if I go down here, if I go and I show you my campaign. So this is a campaign, right? This is the last 30 days. We've generated over 1,554 leads, so about 51 leads a day for an average about $39 cost per lead. So if I go back and I look at all time in these campaigns right here, I've spent about $342,000 and generated about 11,871 leads since the inception here of January 2020 of this year. So I spent about $342,000, but we've made a fortune, right? We've got 2 deals that covers the cost for these, for this cost, on this one, these couple particular campaigns. So 11,000 leads for an average of $25 cost per lead, or 16%, almost 17% conversion. So that is one way. And leads come in like this, right? We got this one that came in from pay-per-click advertising, 8510. You can look up the address, Circle, Easton, Maryland. Now, Maryland's a really difficult market to generate leads. If you're just trying to generate leads in the Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C. areas, right outside of D.C., it's very difficult. We got this property under contract for $160, sold it like super fast, $187. $27,000 profit. So Google AdWords, you got a keyword and ads come up that turns into leads that come in 24/7. Now the secret is small markets. Now if I go back and I look at this one, Deer Park, small market. Kansas City, it's a little bit bigger market, but it works. Akron, Ohio. This one right here, Easton, Maryland, right? You see these small markets across the country. So this small market, you got this one right here, Waco, Texas, is about an hour and 35 minutes outside of Dallas, Texas, a great little market, Waco, Texas, right? It's about an hour and 35 minutes from Dallas, 138 population, and I'm going to tell you, it's called 57 flippers. Now, I'm going to tell you what flippers are and why it's a key metric that we look at to determine if the city is viable or not. Key component. Is the city, is the small town, because there's millions, I don't know about millions, there's hundreds of thousands of these small little markets outside of larger markets, but are they viable? Do you want to spend time there? Should you spend time there? What makes it viable or not? That's what we're going to talk about. And flippers is a key thing we'll talk about here in a second. So here's another one here. Look at this, New Albany, Indiana. Small little market. You'll see none of them are in major markets like, or very few are in major markets. This one right here, contracted for $100,500, sold for $118,000, $17,500 profit. Cute little property. Red door. Now, what we do to find the hottest list. Now, this is our second best and one of our primary forms of marketing is what's called sending cheap little postcards. Cheap little postcards. So let me go here. This is a software we use called REI Automator, right? REI Automator. Now, REI Automator is the best data source on the planet to pull anything when it comes to data. They have the ability to skip trace, is the best, most quality, most cost effective because the data is so good. Skip tracing service. Inside, you can create campaigns in here. There's ringless voicemail that's in here. You can set up postcard campaigns in here. There's so much amazing stuff you can do. And it has specific lists that you can target. Now check this out. You can do vacant properties, properties with liens, pre-foreclosures. This list right here in early 2021, when they do release the forbearances, this list is going to be hot. What's really hot right now, you'll see, is absentee owners with high equity. Absentee owners with high equity we'll talk about in a second. You've got cash buyers. You want to get super hot cash buyers in the market? We got high equity, free and clear, bankruptcy properties, divorce, tax delinquent. This is one of my favorite lists. These are people that haven't paid their property taxes. It's a precursor to distressed. Now here's flippers again. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Failed listings. This has access to the MLS. where you can pull MLS properties. Senior owner that maybe want to divest, vacant land, tired landlords. This right here is a super hot list right now in this market. Zombie properties. Zombie properties are pre-foreclosures that are vacant properties. Now, the cool thing is you can get property characteristics, right? MLS access, is it on the market? Is it off the market? Pre-foreclosure or bank owned, ownership info. You can go in and figure out for cash buyers. Well, I want to say cash buyers that with at least 5 properties, they'll give it to you instantaneously. So let's say if I was going to go in here and I was going to pull a really great list, I'm going to say, okay, I want tired landlords in here, right? In Waco, Texas, right? I want to make sure that it is not on the MLS. And I want to make sure that the valuation, estimated equity, I want to say equity percentage, at least 50% equity in the property. Now, this list, super hot, 212 tired landlords that are in Waco, Texas. And guess what? Now I can select this list right here. I can add it to a list, and I can go over here to campaigns, and I can pick a postcard campaign, and I can go next right here, and I can pick some of the hot, this postcard works amazing. You can do facing foreclosure postcard works amazing. I mean, these are first notices. You got handwritten postcards that are amazing. We have the best ones that are the highest performance postcards for cheap campaigns you can do, which are amazing. So you can do that. You can skip trace those properties. You can send them a ringless voicemail. So what if I wanted to go in here and go to campaigns and I wanted to send them a voicemail? I could turn around and I could send them a ringless voicemail. I can record a message, call an 800 number, record a message, and I can drop those people a voicemail right now and get them to call back on that. That's how incredible this is for finding sellers. So we'll send them a postcard, we'll send them a quick voicemail, and we'll get these leads. But what we do is we find these little markets all across the entire country, and we do a lot of this, and we get leads. And guess what? Here's the exciting part right here. Let me get back to here because I'm getting too excited. I'm starting to spit. The bottom line is, you know what the amazing thing is? They're talking to no one. You might be in a market, maybe Austin, Dallas, Atlanta, Houston. You might be in DC, Baltimore. You might be in these super hot markets like Cleveland or St. Louis, or maybe you're in Nevada, maybe you're in Phoenix, and you're beating your head against the wall going, how am I getting deals? The competition's crazy. Everyone's going after the same deals. Not us. We got these small little markets using a specific criteria, and we're going out there and nobody's talking to these people. Response rates, remember back, I don't know if you, I've been in the business for 17 years. I remember response rates that are 10 or 12%, right? And now the response rate in Phoenix is 0.0007% is the response rate. You send out 10, 20, 30,000 mailers, you get maybe 10, 15 calls, maybe, if you're lucky. We send out to Waco, Texas, 221. We'll get 10, 15, 20 calls on 221 mailers of these highly motivated sellers, which is insane. But we do that in 10 different markets, which is amazing. All using REI Automator, just like that, in a matter of a minute. So you find the mailing list, and you got these postcards, which is amazing. And then you got this right here. Look at this deal. This deal right here, right? This came from pay-per-click advertising. This one right here, Anaheim, California. 500,000 contracts, sold for $620, closed in less than 3 weeks. We swing traded this property, $120,000 profit. And here's the interesting fact. We gave the guy exactly what he wanted. What would you like to get for the property? $500,000. He said, yeah, $500,000. That's what we're seeing. And what happens is with these marketing campaigns, when someone calls us off a postcard and we're talking to them, we say, hey, what would you like to get for the property? They go, oh, like to get, $500,000. Great. Then you do your numbers. Everything's done over the phone. I'm going to talk about that here. Let's get into it. All right, how to find buyers. I'm going to show you flippers real quick. I told you to show you flippers. Let me show you that. I'm going to exit, show you flippers. I'm going to do this real quick, and we're getting into the 8 steps. I got to hurry up here. All right, so now I go here. I'm going to eliminate these right here. I'm in Waco, Texas. Now I'm going to go to flippers. Why are flippers so important, right? We got 63 flippers here, 63 flippers. Now, let's say if I go to Drummond Circle, right here in Waco, Texas, it gives us all the information about the property, what the value of the property is, what the when it was sold last, all the information, everything from MLS details, comparables, tax information, gives you everything you need to know about the property, right? It even gives you an offer automator. You can actually turn around, it'll actually give you offer price, so you can give you a max allowable, exit price number, you can sell it. It's crazy, right? But let's say if I go into Drummond right here, I go to MLS details, I scroll down right here, it gives you your agent name, and give you your agent phone number. What we do is we just build a list with these right here, and we send them a text saying, hey, do you have buyers? And we are selling our properties with this little list right here, flippers, all across the country, and the data is right here in front of you, which is amazing. All right, that's flippers. Let me get into it. All right, ultimate business model. We got 8 things. I'm gonna go real quick. How to day trade properties in 8 steps. Let's go. First, selecting the best state, right? We're going to get into it. Now, first off, this business model, you don't need any funding. You don't have to raise money. You don't have to fix and flip a property. You don't have to see the property. It can be done all over the phone. You don't have to buy and hold the property. There's no cash needed to buy or fix properties. No credit check ever. Can be done on a part-time basis around what you do. Profit can come quickly within weeks, right? Business can be done from anywhere in the world. Business can be successful in up or down markets. It doesn't matter if the market's crashing, or it doesn't matter if the market's going through the roof like it is now. Reduce the risk for paying for speed. So guess what? You can learn exactly how to do this. Business can be scaled to unlimited income. If you want to make millions of dollars like we're doing right now, you can do that too. Business can be started with minimal capital. There are minimal ways. You don't have to spend $300,000 on marketing campaigns or whatever. There are ways you can start. There are free methods, there are cheap methods, and there are paid methods to generate leads from sellers. Now, let me show you an important disclaimer. All incomes you're about to hear are real and are verified. However, incomes depict and represent some of the most successful participants, and the majority of individuals earn less because they do nothing, right? They don't take action. So these figures should not be considered as guarantees or projections of your actual earnings or profit. It's understood that your success is predicated solely on your effort, which requires hard work, desire, and diligence. So I'm going to show you some students that have followed our courses and what they've done, and they all have taken energy and effort. There's no push button method. There's no, done for you thing or anything like. It takes hard work. This is a business. And anybody that tells you that a business is just, oh yeah, I can just do it. I don't want to give you that impression at all, because it takes hard work, energy, effort, tenacity, motivation to talk to sellers and make offers, right? And a lot of people don't have what it takes. They get all excited, they want to have it, but they're not willing to put forth the effort. If you're willing to put forth the effort, guess what? You can get the results. It might take a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or whatever the case may be. The bottom line is, if you're willing to do nothing, you'll get no results. So here's, like I said, just a snapshot of some of the wires we have coming in over the last 45 days, from 148,000, 25,000, 120,000, 27,000, 100,000. These are just deals. These are assignment deals using these 2 contracts. Right? We have a purchase contract, an assignment contract using these 2, get a property under contract, and sell the contract with the assignment contract. And guess what? You get wires in your account for doing it. Here's another deal that we've done in Bellevue, Washington. Look at this. Let me show you. Right here. Go look it up. 14450 North, 31st Street, J208, Bellevue, Washington. Right? Small little town, $130,789 contract, sold for $270,000, $148,211. We have a brand new guy, his name's John. He got started in his first week and a half. He got this property under contract. You know what he asked the seller? He used one of our scripts that we have. We have a script that is just on fire. And he asked him, and he goes, hey, what would you like to get for the property? And the guy goes, give me $130,000 for the property. He said, okay. He gave him $130,000 for the property. We turned around and found a buyer for $279,000. And that's $148,000. So that literally just came in, last week. So the bottom line is, it works. Go look it up. Here's another one. Here's this. This is Sis right here. I'm almost been doing this for a year in real estate business, just shy of $100,000 in wholesale fees. Acquired 2 cash flowing properties, debt-free, while pregnant, with my 5th child, and my youngest being a year old. Oh, and planned a dope-ass real estate conference at the same time. So I look at this, I go, I don't have an excuse. I look at her and I want to be her. I'm like, wow, 5 kids, pregnant, planning an event, and doing $100,000 in fees? Hey, she's a rock star. Congratulations. Here's Anwar. Here's another one right here. $65,704. This is a quick motivation for everyone still looking to do their first deal. The easiest wholesale deal I've ever done, between a few text messages, conversations. All in all, this deal took me roughly 5 hours, contract to close. That's $13,148 an hour. Amazing, amazing. Here's another one. $18,000 check right here. Not a bad one. Here's Monica. Thank you, Chelsea. Chelsea has worked with me for years. I know it's been a while, but I've been circling back to say thank you to Sean Terry again last week. Closed on a lot that I purchased 2 months ago for $17,000, sold for $75,000. So check out this video right here.
This video goes out to Sean Terry. Okay, Sean, you don't know me. You will one day. But holy crap, man. I got so much information from you, which launched my business. And I literally just closed my first deal last week. I'll tell you about it. And I made $35,000. And I have to attribute my success to hard work, to pushing through fear, and the information that I got from you, man. Like, holy crap. Thank you. So I got this deal by way of door knocking. And I was in kind of like a financial bind. I was Ubering during the day, working on my business, Ubering during the morning, working on my business during the afternoon, and then Ubering at night, like on the super hustle. So I gathered and mustered up all the little courage I had inside, and I made a list, and I knocked on the door, and then the owner came, and I just was myself, and I'll just let him know, listen, I'm here to help you. And next thing you know, I had that bad boy under contract, and I freaked out, and I was like, oh my God, what's next? Like, I forgot all my training. What do I do? And then I had that thing under contract literally in about less than a day. And the buyer was amazing. And don't get me wrong, the starting point to the ending point to the closing was like being locked in a dryer on high. Okay, I was going down a hill wearing skates and speed bumps along the way. Okay, because I was getting beat up. But I have learned so very much along the way, that I'm extremely grateful for. So this will be almost a $40,000 month for me, and there is no way I will have another month that is not equal or better. So thank you so much, Sean. You the man. I know we're gonna meet one day, and I look forward to it. And I just wanted you to know that I'm forever grateful. Thank you so much for all that you do. Keep it going, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Bye.
Hey, this is Russell Walker from Chicago, Illinois. Just wanted to do a testimonial for for Sean Terry. Got started in wholesaling real estate about eight years ago, and it started from one of his books actually, and his free podcast. I did a couple deals just from listening to his podcast, reading his book, and 8 years later, I still study his courses. I still listen to his podcast. I still have, buy his new courses that he has, and we do about 20 transactions a month in the Chicago, Illinois area, and you can check us out, Best Chicago Wholesale Deals in the Chicago area. And I just want to thank Sean T for his motivation. The mindset thing was probably the biggest thing. Listening to his podcast was huge in order to get where I'm at today. So I appreciate you, Sean T. Sean Terry, thank you for everything you provided, and I can't thank you enough for everything, man. Thank you. God bless.
All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to go real quick through the steps here. First off, we want to find the step number one is the best state, best major market, and then we want to find the small town. So we look for rent value ratio, appreciation, and cash buyer activity. So these are the best cities. I'll just give you the 9 best right now. Best cities for rent value, appreciation, cash buyer activity. You got Dallas, Denver, Miami, Houston, Atlanta, Tampa, Austin, Orlando, and Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, so those are the best rent value, appreciation, cash buyer activity. But we don't want to market there because they're competitive. So we want to find a small market outside of there, like Waco, Texas. So we want to be at least an hour away, right? With anything within an hour away of a major market, must have at least a 50,000 population, right? And there's got to be at least 25 flippers in that particular market. That's a generalized criteria that we look for when we find these small markets outside of a major market. Now, we talked about the 2 best marketing campaigns, PPC advertising, strategic direct mail. There's also other marketing campaigns that you can use. Like I said, there's free ones, there's cheap ones, and there's paid ones, right? Depending on what your marketing budget will allow you to do. The more marketing budget you have, the easier it is to generate leads. But some people don't have a significant budget. They might have $100 or $200 a month they can put toward marketing. So it's going to be more energy and effort on their side to be able to generate their leads. But don't let that stop you when it comes to marketing from doing this. Don't let it stop you. I started broke. I hand wrote letters from my kitchen table. Right? You can do that. You can handwrite postcards from your kitchen table and you can send them out. Don't let that stop you. Don't let money, like a marketing budget, because you can send 20 postcards or 30 postcards a day and you can start getting calls in from sellers. Start somewhere. But once you get your first check, once you get a check of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, then what you do is you take 15 to 25% and you reinvest it back in the marketing, and that's how you scale it up. So it might take some energy and effort, some hard work at first, but then you can take a portion of that check and reinvest it and start building from there. So there's free ways, there's cheap ways, and there's paid ways to get up and going. So don't, again, let that stop you from getting started. So the next one is the deep dive. What we do is this is getting the property under contract. There's a 4-step method we use: a deep dive. We get all the information about the property, we understand the repairs, and we get the first asking price, and then we get the second asking price. It's critical. The second asking price is it's asked at the end of the call after the repairs, and they understand it's a cash transaction in the lowest they would accept. So there should be a first asking, a second asking. Then what we do is we go to the set. The set is where we set an appointment to get back on the phone with them in about 30 minutes, right? That's where it's giving us time to the next step, which is research and the doc prep. So what we do is we do a set with them. We get them back on the phone in 30 minutes. Say, hey, can I get you back on the phone in 30 minutes, Mr. Seller? Say, great. What I'm going to do is talk to my underwriter. I'm going to talk to my manager. I'm going to talk to my boss. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to figure out the highest number we can get for you. So what then you'll do is then you're going to do the research and you're going to figure out what's your max allowable offer. Where are you going to start with your number? Maybe they want 200, but you need to be at 180. What can you do to work with them to get them to a 180? What you want to do is create a lower anchor number and then work your way up to a 180 number. But you want to have your documents prepared too. You can use DocuSign or Freedom Logic or what we use to get the document signed. You get that prepared, get it ready to go, so you're not fumbling when they say, okay, let's go, and get this deal done. You're not, oh, hold on one sec, let me get, you have it all set, ready to go. You are prepared, you're anticipating, you are assuming the sale that you're going to get that deal done. Then what happens is you're going to close the transaction. We have a specific way and a script. Now this is all scripted out. We have a script that we've modified and format and changed and made better, and modified and format and changed and made better. And we got it down to literally just word magic. It's literally just word magic. We're working with someone through a process to getting them through where they'll sign a contract. But then it's down to the closing and asking them and offering a price. It's understanding objections. It's closing the gap, and it's getting that closed with closing questions, alternate choice closing questions, tie down closing questions, all sorts of different closing questions we can ask that we can get the deal signed. So there's a 4-step closing process that we do, and it works. The next thing is 5 are the closing companies. So now we get, think about this. We get a contract signed from a seller. This is done all over the phone. You get a city, you pick a city, you send out some postcards, the seller calls in, you talk to them over the phone, you do the 4-step closing process, they say yes, you get the contract signed. You got it signed. Yes, I did it, right? Now what? Who's going to close it, right? You got to find someone that's going to manage all the paperwork, manage the money, pull the title report, close the transaction. Here are 2 closing companies we use. One is WFG, National Title Insurance Company. The other one's Clothesline Settlements. Those are 2 closing companies that we use nationally right now. In the state of California, we use Fidelity, and also we use Fidelity up in Oregon and Washington up there as well. So these are the ones we use, and they're working great. The next thing is number 6 is finding a cash buyer. We have a 5-step process. I showed you one, which is in REI Automator Flippers. We also use Realtor.com, and we also text cash buyers as well. But we have 5 different ways that we use in a systematic process that we find cash buyers. We find buyers in the market, and we use a specific script to work with the seller to get the buyers in with the sellers there. Okay, that was a big obstacle, and it took us some time to really work that so it flowed perfectly. But think about this. We have a seller that we're under contract with, and now we're in Arizona, and we got a property in Waco, Texas. We got a seller on a property, right? And now we got buyers coming into the property, seeing the property. How do we position that? How do we position it with the seller? How do we position it with the buyer? So then there's not any overlap and it makes a big mess, and the seller's talking to the buyer, and the buyer, they circumvent us and go behind our back. Listen, we figured it out down to a science, and it's scripted, and it works. It works amazing. So the bottom line is number 7 is you arrange showing with a buyer. We set up what's called a 30-minute open house so we can get as many people in there, and we get as many people in that 30-minute open house. So what we'll do is, let's say it's Monday. We're going to set up a 30-minute open house for Thursday, and we're going to work to get as many 4, 5, 6 people over there at one time, and we're going to get those people in there, and they're going to go look at the house. It creates a bidding war, creates a frenzy, and we're able to sell those houses at a higher price a lot faster, which really works. Now, step 8 is funding, right? Assignment or double escrow. 99% of the deals that we do, we use this contract right here that I'm going to give you at the end of this. I'm going to show you where you can download it. But this contract right here is an assignment that allows you to sell that contract for the fee. And the cool thing is, it allows you to do it without actually putting the fee on there, so the buyer won't negotiate it. So here's the thing. This is the 8-step process right here. This is the 8 steps that bridge the gap, that allows you to do deals all over the entire country. It allows you to do everything over the phone. You can do it with no funding. You can generate leads, either free methods, cheap methods, or paid methods. There's a systematic process to getting the property sold, and it can be done whether you want to do it on a part-time basis and just generate some extra cash, or you want to scale it and make millions of dollars, and change your life and the direction of your life dramatically. Do you realize all you need is maybe 7 to 10 deals a year to make $250,000? That's not bad. Our average deal size is about 20, 25 grand. 10 deals is $250,000. And you don't need a whole staff, a team of people like I do or anything. You don't need that. You can work that by yourself primarily. 10 deals is not that hard. $250,000. Do you realize that the majority of the American public right now don't even make close to that? The average income is like $53,000 a year, right? That's 2 deals. What could this do to get you out of that? Or maybe you're one of the unfortunate people like my wife's sisters got laid off that now need income coming in. This is it. This is the idea. This is the concept. This is the thing that will work. And I'm telling you, listen, trust your gut. Trust your gut. I'm not BSing you. This is the truth. And this is real. This is it. This is how it's done. So imagine the freedom you could have, the lifestyle. You know, I took my kids to New York City a while back, and we stayed at the Plaza Hotel. It was amazing. We drove up to the Plaza Hotel, and it was, I mean, this was before New York was, been decimated with this whole coronavirus thing, but amazing. The Plaza, we went shopping down Fifth Avenue. Tiffany's is 8 stories. We spent at least 2 hours in Tiffany's, which was amazing with my family. It was great. It was, I mean, we've been all over the world traveling. They grew up I took the summers off since 2005. Summers off going to my beach house in Southern California, hanging out at the beach for the entire month of July. You can't do that with a job. You only can do it with something like this. If I could reach through the camera and bring you and we could hang out, you and I could hang out for a week, you'd be like, I don't want to go back to normal life. When do I do it? Amazing. Imagine the success, the money, where you never have to worry about money again. Imagine that. Imagine that, right? Now, it's a little bit different because you don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks, right? And now it's on you, so that security is essentially gone, but you don't need it. The security of knowing that you could go anywhere in the world, you could talk to anybody over the phone, you could get a deal locked up over the phone, you understand marketing, that knowledge is priceless. Imagine doing work from anywhere in the world. All you need is a laptop and a cell phone. Actually, we use a service called DialPad. As long as you have internet access, right? Use in the technology that we use, you can do business anywhere in the world. That means you're not stuck to you want to work remote, you want to live in Florida, right? Because, I don't know, you want to live in Florida because the restaurants are open, right? You can live in Florida. You want to get out of the big city and you want to live out in the middle of farmland. As long as you have internet access, you can do business there. You want to go overseas and you want to live overseas and do that? Go ahead. It doesn't matter. Maybe you live overseas and you want to generate. You can do that. Imagine successfully completing just 1 to 2 deals a month, or maybe just 1 to 2 deals a year remotely. Or you can run a full-time business and you can get after it. Some of you guys are watching this right now and you're chomping at the bit to go out and crush it. You don't need experience, credit check, funding, any of this stuff to get started. It can be done part-time, full-time. And guess what? You can learn how to crush this business. I created the ultimate 4-week intensive masterclass called Remote Millions 2.0. It's my entire business model all the way through. You get to learn cutting edge strategy to confidently do 1 to 2 deals per month remotely using none of your own cash or credits. A 4-week immersion masterclass that I personally teach from the scripts and what to say and how to do it and how to pick a market, understanding campaigns, marketing campaigns, direct mail campaigns, access to all these different softwares and platforms that we use. The whole concept boiled down for you completely. Now, come to me real quick, Chris. Why would I do this? Why would I want to teach you? Why would I want to teach you? Right? People ask me, I go, the guy that sent me the email, why don't you just keep it all for yourself? Don't tell anybody. Here's the thing. I've been doing wholesaling houses for 17 years. I've been teaching right now for the past 10 years. And I don't hold anything back. I teach everything I know, right? And people go, you're nuts. Keep it all for yourself. But you know what? I believe in an abundance mentality. I believe that there's more than enough. And do you realize now that I have been teaching everything I know for the past 10 years? And everybody that told me to keep it secret, I'm doing way more business than they are. If you believe in an abundance mentality versus a scarcity mentality, more things will come to you like you've never dreamt possible. And it's my passion. And I know for a fact that if you're serious and you take action on this, and you take this little idea, this concept, this business model, and apply it, it will change your life like it's done for me. And let's put it this way. You know what? When I'm on my deathbed, right, I don't want to go, oh, I made $100 million and I made no impact. I didn't change one person's life, maybe my close, intimate family. I'd rather be on my deathbed and go, you know what? Yes, I was successful. That's all great. But I made an impact in people's lives in a positive way. I put a positive way. And you know what? It's not because of me. I give glory to God for me being here and being able to be healthy and being in a position where I can talk to you. And if that impacts you in a positive way and it impacts other people in a positive way, and I can give glory to God for doing it, then so be it. I'd rather be in that position than the latter. So that's why I'm willing to share this with you. And I'm willing to show you exactly what this is and how this can change your life. You can learn cutting edge strategies to confidently do 1 or 2 deals a month remotely. The Remote Millions 2.0 is the cutting edge top. It's in a membership site with the best, I've got video guys of the best production put together. You know, you get the audio version, you get the you get all the downloads and the PDFs and all the Word docs and the scripts and everything that comes with it. We leave nothing out. And you're going to learn exactly the entire 8-step process, from selecting the city to finding and marketing for distressed sellers, cheap ways, free ways, paid ways to generate, how to talk to a seller, how to make an offer, how to understand repairs. How do you do that remotely? How to get the seller to send you pictures, how to go out there and sell the property at lightning speed, how to get the highest price, how to get the buyers in with the sellers and do that. How do you do that? And you get to see from other successful students that applied it and what they're doing and how they do it. It's like nothing you've ever seen before, and it's the best of the best in the marketplace. I know, I personally put it together, and I do it every day in my business right here in Phoenix. Now, you see right here, bonus part of this, because this is a critical component. The activation fee on the software is $897, and the data comes with $97 a month with data. I'm going to throw this in because it's a key component of the actual software, key component of it. But I don't want to say, oh, here, buy this software. I'm going to throw it in as part of it. But the Remote Millions course, it retails for $997. The Automator, $994 for the REI Automator, 1 month access to that. You get bi-weekly coaching calls. So I get on a live Facebook Live coaching call and answer questions, go over deals, go over problems, go over situations. Like we just did a coaching call, not this week, but the week before. And we talked about tenants in properties. What do you do with tenants in properties? That now tenants, are stuck there, they can't get evicted. Well, there's some specific things you can do to get tenants out. And we talked about that and gave them certain things they can do to solve that particular problem. So you get the Remote Millions, right? The course, 4-week intensive masterclass, REI Automator software, bi-weekly coaching calls, plus our live event that's coming up at the end of January. It's called Extreme Freedom. In October, actually, we had not this past October, but the October before, we had over 500 people there. It was amazing. We're doing a quasi-live/Zoom virtual event this year due to COVID-19. We still want to have it. People have been dying for us to do it. It was so successful last time. We're going to do it again. But part of the Remote Millions, you get 2 tickets to that, either virtual or in person. Also, we have a 5-day, it was a pre-recorded intensive I did that actually walked people through step by step of the course. I actually went through, I have the course that's completely taught in a systematic fashion, and then we went through and I walked people through the 2.0 version of the course. So you get all that. It's a $10,382 value, plus you get all my prized forms, scripts, contracts. It's been completely updated for 2020. And this is incredible. We have Brandon Simmons, who's my right-hand guy. He was my acting COO of my real estate business for about 5 years. He's moved over to our coaching. He manages all of our entire coaching department right now, coaching and training department. But he does every other week, he does what's called deal or no deal trainings. You can bring a deal to him and he'll tell you if it's a deal or no deal. He'll actually comp a property, show you what to look for in comps, what to see, and how to assess repairs. So you really get to take your property and he gives you an offer price on the property, but then shows you how to do it. It's critically important. So you learn how to fish versus just giving you a fish. It's incredible. So every week, every other week, I'm on live with you, going through every single, I've been doing it for years, love doing it. It's where I get the pulse of everybody. And then every other week, then Brandon's on. So literally every single week, you can plug in either deal or no deal or me, deal or no deal or me, deal or no deal or me. Sometimes we switch off and on and do each other's back and forth, but it's a blast and I love doing it, and it's amazing to watch people succeed. That's where you and I get to interact, which is amazing. You also get access to the Facebook. It's a private members-only Facebook group. Currently, right now, we have close to 9,000 members in there. I get in there. That's where I do my lives. We have members in there, other successful members. They're helping people out. It's a very robust group inside of Facebook. So all this, $997, $94, all this stuff 13,000. And the reason we put all this together, the software, the training with now you have support, the tickets for Extreme Freedom so you can plug in live, the 5-day pre-recorded coaching so you can have that and it gets more of a off-the-cuff training on exactly what happens. All the spreadsheets, forms, everything. The training with deal or no deal. So if you have a problem property or understanding how to make offers, you can have them. Members to the Access group so you can plug in. Because you can have education and training, but you also have to have support that's going to plug you in. So we wanted to put everything together, throw everything together in here. So what I did was, and now you're wondering, how much all this costs? It's gonna be thousands and thousands of dollars for how much it's going to cost. Well, I went out there and surveyed other members that are a part of Remote Millions, that have been a part of our other trainings that we've done, and said, hey, what is this worth? Most people said, listen, this is a $5,000 course easy. All this training, all the support, all the education, $5,000 plus, plus, plus. The lowest was $19.97 because I think that's how much he had on him. And that's like, I'll get $19.97. The lowest $19.97. But I looked at it. So when we considered pricing this, and we were going to say, okay, what are we going to price this at into the general public? We're going to put it out there. We're going to price it. We said, should it be $4,997? But I thought back, you know, and I looked at when I was getting started and I was driving down the freeway and I was broke and living month to month. You know, I said, you know, I don't think I'm going to do $4,997. So I looked at $19.97. I said, should we price it $19.97? You know, we can do that. But then I looked at, for me, back then, I couldn't afford I would have said no. I would have been out. I would have been off. I couldn't have bought it, and it wouldn't have changed my life. I couldn't have done it. So guess what? You know what? I know there are so many people that look at me and they say, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Why are you like practically giving all this information away? Why are you doing it for so cheap? The retail price is $9.97. And you know what? I even decided not to do that. I want to give someone the ability, and there's limited quantity. I can tell you that right now because there's so many people that can go on, and we only can answer questions for a certain amount of time. And I try to get on and I try to answer all the questions. Brandon gets on, he tries to answer all the questions. But if we have thousands of people on there, we can't answer the questions for everyone. We're going to be on there for 14 hours straight. We can't do it. So it's a limited quantity. And what we've done is I'm going to give you a coupon code off the retail price and give you 50% off for a limited time, for a limited quantity. If you go to that special site, getremotemillions.com, or you click the button below if you're on the page there, getremotemillions.com. If you go there now and it doesn't work, then the quantity number, the internal quantity number has been reached. That coupon code is tied to a specific number. And when that number reaches, then what happens is it will not work and it will error code out and it won't work. So for a limited time, limited quantity, it's $498.50, 50% of the retail price. Or we even made it where you can do a 3-pay of $197.50, right? $197.50. Now, you have a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. If you don't absolutely love what I am talking about and you don't love it, then you can ask your money back, because I know for a fact $498.50 doesn't matter to me, right? It doesn't matter. It matters that you make an impact in someone's life. And if you want your money back, you don't think it's great, then you can have it back. Now, how much time and money will you lose testing marketing campaigns and trying to figure it out yourself? Or not knowing what to say? What if a seller calls you, it's a $148,000 deal, but you don't know what to say, and you screw it up, they hang up, and they call us, you blew $148,000. What about not knowing what to offer a seller? How do you know if it's a deal? How do you know if it's a calculate repairs? Not selling for the highest price possible. You're just leaving money on the table. What if You try to do it trying to figure out, wasting time and money trying to do it yourself. What about being unorganized and losing deals? When deals come in and being unorganized, what about trusting the wrong people? What if you don't know how to set up, you get the wrong people in the property with the seller and they steal the deal behind your back and you lost a smoking deal? What then? Structuring the wrong deal with your partner, any type of partners you're working with, valuing the property wrong is a huge, you see it all the time. They offer too low on a property and they get outbid. Not knowing how to get paid, not working with the title company, not knowing how to instruct them, not knowing how to flip to an assignment agreement. All that is critically important. Wasting time and money trying to figure it out yourself. Nothing is more expensive than missed opportunity. You could lose a fortune. You could lose your excitement, your motivation because of not getting results. So here's another one, Anwar. Look at that, checks, $12,000. Here's another one for Christopher, another deal, $5,500 profit. Anthony Price getting wires into his account, $40,000, another $34,000. Not bad. Look at right at the beginning of COVID, deposit $34,220. So all you got to do is go get to remotemillions.com, getremotemiillions.com. Make sure you use the coupon code REMOTE50. Make sure you use that. It's only $498.50 or a 3-pay of $197. So frequently asked questions. What if I'm already a Flip to Freedom product owner? Well, this is a complete different product on there. So it would just be, you can get the coupon code, the 50% discount to use it. Can I do this in my state or small town? Yes, you can. You can do it in your small town if you're a small town. You can do it locally. We do deals locally over the phone as well. We get leads that come in from Tucson, come in from Phoenix. We do them over the phone. Yes, you can. And you can do it in your small town. How much startup capital needed to get started? It's just marketing capital, right? Just marketing capital, get started. Maybe you get started, you can do it that way. So marketing capital, get started. So then you get, what if I need help or if I have questions? What's great, I get on a call every other week. Brandon gets on a call every other week. So every week you get the plug in. Plus we have the Facebook group. Plus we have almost Apple-like support where we have Chelsea on the phone 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If you have any questions whatsoever, there are any specific technical questions she can help answer. Real estate related questions you can get asked in the Facebook group, which is amazing. I heard some states don't allow wholesaling. The only one is Illinois, which you just have to be a licensed realtor in Illinois to be able to do deals there. Are those stories for real? Yes, they are for real. You can actually come to our live event, come to Phoenix, come join us over there, and you'll see people that I talk about, and you can go up and shake their hand and ask them for yourselves. But you can come in and see the stories. We actually have them come up and stand up and tell their stories. And guess what? Between now and then, you could create your story and you could be there too. How long before I get my first check? It depends on what your energy, effort, your work is. I've seen people get their first checks in a matter of weeks. I've seen people get their first checks in 6 months. It depends what they do and how much action you take getting started. How much time does it take? You can do it part-time or you can do it full-time. I've seen, I know people right now, they're working around their job. At lunch break, they'll make calls. After work, they make calls. On the weekends, they'll talk to sellers and make offers. Depends how motivated you are to do it. But I do want to tell you, it is a business. The more time and energy you spend working your business, the more results you're going to get. Can I do this in Canada? Well, you don't do deals specifically in Canada, but if you're in Canada, or if you're in another country, international country, you can do deals in the United States. This is specifically about doing deals within the United States of America. What if I'm a real estate agent? Can I do this? Yes, you can. If you're a real estate agent, you can do this. You just got to picture yourself as you have your real estate agent hat on. And if you're a real estate agent, you're representing a buyer and a seller. If you're an investor and you have your investor hat on, then you're doing deals on your own behalf, right? So it just depends, right? So can you do this as a real estate agent? Yes, you're just not representing a buyer and seller, you're representing your own self in your own behalf. What if you're not computer savvy? The cool thing is you don't have to be computer savvy. When it comes to setting up websites and stuff like that, there are very simple ways to do that. There's many very affordable services out there that can get you online very quickly. But when you're sending a postcard, it's very easy. REI Automator, we have full training videos on exactly how to use it. It's very easy to do. So the bottom line is, doing that is you don't have to be a rock star computer person to do it. We've got people with that don't know how to use Word or any of these other things are becoming successful. Do I need funding to do this? Lineup funding? No. You don't have to get a lender. You don't have to get credit check. You don't have to get funding to do it. All you need is these 2 documents, and I'll show you how to do it. So make sure you go to gettoremotemillions.com, getremotemillions.com. Use the coupon code remote50, only $498.50, or 3-pay of $197, limited quantity, and you can get started now. All right, so let me show you. If I go to Get Remote Millions, let me see. If I go to Get Remote Millions, I'll show you where to So put in your information, right? Here's your coupon code. So if you put that in there, you check the box. It looks like it works. Right now it works. It's working right now. So we haven't hit capacity yet. So put it in there. Use that. It says discount applied right here. Make sure you do that. And then if you scroll down, right, you'll see this right here. And it'll say free gifts. Click right here to download your free gifts. And here's all the questions answered, 100% money back guarantee. You can click there and you can download that. So this will allow you also, this right here is PayPal credit. So if you click here, and you can sign in with PayPal, but PayPal will give you what's called PayPal credit. Now will give you, basically you can buy now and pay later, or you can pay like the very small payments over a course of time. You can use that. So that is PayPal credit, works absolutely phenomenal. It's almost like they're funding your business, just like how people are going to do a startup business and they're going to go to venture capitalists to raise capital to start a business. PayPal will give you the startup. They'll give you the $498.50 to get started, and you can pay it back over time. And you can do it after you get your first deal, which is cool. So that is Get Remote Millions. Hope I answered the questions. Chris, do you have any questions for me at all? All right, so if someone asked a question about looking up the information on Zillow, make sure you look up in REI Automator. That's where it actually confirms the tax records. Sometimes Zillow does not update the current pricing and they're behind. Zillow primarily gets their information from the MLS. That's where they pull the majority. Same with Realtor.com. They pull majority of their information from sales that happen with the MLS, right? So that's why if you see a property listed on the MLS, it will show in Zillow because they pull that data from the MLS. Same with transactions that happen on the MLS. So they'll pull data in from the MLS. So if you look on Zillow and you say, hey, listen, I want to try to find this transaction on some of these properties that we do, you're not going to find it because these are off-market deals. But if you look in a service like REI Automator, you'll see transactions that happen because it's in the tax records that it will show that a transaction's happened for the sales price, right? You'll be able to see that. So that's how that works. Just want to answer that question. Any other questions, Chris?
Nothing yet.
Cool. I think I put all those questions in there to answer some more questions on there. So.
James, James Hudson took advantage of the prepay. He met you at Extreme Freedom last time, and he's excited to get going. So James.
Well, I want to say congratulations to James. He was at Extreme Freedom in October. James, we met each other out there, and guess what? Come to the one in January or join us virtually. It'll be great. He got started with Remote Millions. It's a great course. It's amazing, which is awesome. So, which is really cool. So,
Someone's asking where they get the free gift.
okay, if you go to you go to this URL, Get Remote Millions, right here, Get Remote Millions. You go getremotemillions.com. It's going to direct you to this page right here. And if you scroll down, there's a link right here, says my free gift right here. You just click that link right there. And what you're going to get is it's an audio version of one of the maybe last week's live we did. Yeah, it's the audio version of last week's live. You'll get the PDF of these PDFs right here that we just went through. This PDF version right here, so you can have all the content there. And you get the contracts will be on there as well, and the 2 contracts will be on there. So that's where you download your free gifts. And I truly hope that you use them to generate revenue. Whether you get started with me or not, I just hope I planted a seed that you can do it. I mean, I don't have a college education. I'm a prior U.S. Marine. I literally struggled through life for 33 years until I was 33 years old. And this one idea of wholesaling houses, and I started locally here in Phoenix in my own market, and then branched out and did deals nationally and virtually across, and turned it into the swing trade or day trading properties. So it's an amazing thing, and I hope this just tweaks a little idea in your head that maybe you can do this, because if you don't make a decision to do something different, then you're going to end up where you are, right? And how you know where you're going to be. If you want to predict where you're going to be, you got to look back where you were 3 years ago. So look back where you were 3 years ago. Did you have the same problems, the same bank account, the same situation, the same headaches, right? You look back where you were 3 years ago, and if you're continuing to do the same thing, the same thoughts, the same actions, the same directions, you're going to get the same results. And if you continue on that same path, you're going to get the same results. Unless you take a new path, and it's different. It's like riding a bike. It's different. It's hard. It's scary. Talking to sellers for the first time is nerve-wracking. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I say? And what do I do? And what if I screw up? It's okay. You'll get better at it. You'll get, just like you know how to ride a bike, just like you know how to ride a car, just like you know how to kiss for the first time. It was scary, the first kiss, but you got over it, right? You know how to kiss now. Right? That's a stupid analogy. Chris, my video guy's like, would you shut up? Okay, we'll stick with driving cars and riding bikes. The bottom line is, this is different. It's going to be uncomfortable at first, but you're going to get so good at it, you're going to be able to crush it anywhere in the world, which is amazing. And I hope that for you. So, again, thank you so much for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I went too so long. I get so excited about this and what we do and how we do it. And I appreciate you being here, and have an amazing evening, and go out there and rock it. God bless. Remote Millions, go right here and get at getremotemillions.com. Getremotemillions.com, get signed up before the coupon code stops working.